The next 5 days are going to be very important in the markets as lots of key events are happening. Will we finally start to pump and send altcoins? Plus, is the trade war with China and the government lockdown going to end this week as well? This is your Altcoin Buzz News. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Cody, and if you're new here, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when we drop latest content. Follow us on Twitter, altcoinbuzz.io, and as always, is not financial advice, and wish the best of luck in your crypto ventures. Also, make sure to join us for our X Spaces Tuesday to Friday at 9 a.m. EST, link down below. And real quick before we get started today, guys, we have been nominated on Binance Square's The 100 this year for the Blockchain 2025. If you guys could go and vote for us, we have been nominated. I'll post a link down below. You can see it under Crypto Press, and you can also vote multiple times. So if you guys voted for us, it'd be much appreciated. All right, good morning, guys. So starting off today, Bitcoin is looking much better than it was before. I will say we did have a Sunday pump into this level of resistance around $116,000. So nothing terrible, although I don't expect the Sunday pump to fully hold. I do think we will kind of sell off a little bit into New York Open, but I think we're also going to chop a little bit before FOMC, which we're going to get to in a minute. We have FOMC this Wednesday, so I think we're going to kind of chop around a little bit in the markets until we get some clear decision if we are going to have a rate cut, which I think is most probable, but I think we might chop around until then. We have a lot of big key events which we're going to go over today, but we held this level of support around $107 to around $108,000. We chopped around here like we wanted over the weekend, and then we pumped up towards this next level of resistance. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have a little bit of consolidation over here for the next couple of days, and then maybe we blast through this, going in towards the end of the week after we consolidate underneath this level of resistance, which has been a pretty big level of support and resistance throughout here, around 116 to around $117,500. So this I expect to hold as a level of resistance for, at least New York Open today, maybe the next couple of days going into Wednesday on FOMC. But then I do think we are gonna, if we have good news with the trade wars and everything, we'll probably pump up through here, and hopefully we can reclaim this level at some point later this week, and then take off to new highs, hopefully in November. So starting today, Hong Kong launches the first Solana ETF, which could light up the crypto market early. Then on Wednesday, we have the FOMC rate decision, the main volatility driver as the Fed is set to cut rates. Then on Thursday, we have the Trump and Xi summit with ECB and the Bank of China rate cuts. On Friday, we have PCE inflation data, the report that confirms or challenges the Fed pivot. Everything hits this week, crypto, macro, and geopolitics all colliding at once. And then Lark Davis shares the next FOMC meeting, which is actually now in 2 days. There's a 98.9% chance of a 25 basis point rate cut at the next meeting. We have Crypto RS who shares that Trump says China deal is coming. The markets better listen. Trump says he expects a good deal with China, confirming he'll meet with President Xi in South Korea this coming week. Japan, South Korea, and China all in one trip. This could be the most important week of the year for global markets. And then Tony Edwards says, pump it to the moon. US-China tariff war resolution. The US government reopens loading, which we have on Polymarket set for November 5th. Hopefully it happens this week or early next week. And then we have the Fed continues rate cuts, officially ends QT, which is quantitative tightening, and eventually moves to quantitative easing, loading. We could see the Clarity Act pass the Senate, and we could see the SEC approve altcoin ETFs as soon as the government lockdown eventually ends. Then we have Long Live Liquidity who says, hot take, Xi and Trump meet in South Korea on October 29th. Perhaps a trade deal gets done in the next few days, and that meeting is now a celebration photo op to consummate their love. A gap up we could see in stocks and crypto. And we have Tommy Lee who says, positive development in USA-China trade relations for equities like the SPY, the QQQ, and IWM, up for the supercycle Ethereum, and up for Bitcoin. And then moving on to XRP, we have Brad Garlinghouse saying, with today's close of Hidden Road, now Ripple Prime, Ripple has announced 5 major acquisitions in 2 years, G Treasury last week, Rail in August, Standard Custody in 2024, Medico in 2023. As we continue to build solutions towards enabling Internet of Value, I'm reminding you all that XRP sits at the center of everything Ripple does. Lock in. We also have Crypto who says, XRP open interest just reset again. XRP's open interest on Binance has dropped back to some lows we saw in May 2025, and back then that flush kicked off a massive move from 70 cents to $3.50. This time the open interest is at the floor again, but price is still around $2.60 plus. That means leverage is gone, yet strong hands are still holding. If new liquidity comes in, this setup could easily flip the next leg up. Low leverage, strong spot demand, and trap shorts, that's how rallies usually start. The last time XRP looked like this, it went vertical, so he's showing here the open interest, which was back in May, fully flushed out. And then this rally took us from 70 cents all the way up to $3.50. Now we're back down even lower right now on open interest for XRP. So we could hit much higher levels if the markets want to continue rallying this week. Then we also have, but at the same time, we also have the Ripple co-founder cashes out again. Chris Larson has reportedly offloaded millions of dollars of XRP since 2018, often right near local market tops. Analysts warn of his latest sell-off could weigh on XRP's price recovery. So every time XRP is near a local top, Chris Larson has marked it with a selling of XRP. But at the same time, we have 30 million XRP has been accumulated by whales in the last 24 hours, just last week. Now, pretty much every altcoin is looking similar right now, where we sold off and now we're coming up to this level, which is the underside of where we reclaimed. If this was a bear market, you would expect us to come up here and then, come back down, and this would be an underside retest. But since we are still in a bull market and we do expect things to be bullish going in towards the last couple of months of this year, I do expect at some point we will continue and reclaim this level around $2.75. And this is the level where you want to see us reclaim. So you could wait to get in here and, take a long or buy. But basically we want to see that it doesn't come up here and reject here and back down. We want to see it fully reclaim this level, which is kind of the point where it started to break down. And pretty much most altcoins are looking just like this right now. If you've ever wanted an all-in-one platform for crypto or even stocks, you've got to check out BitGet. Honestly, this exchange is changing the game. BitGet isn't just any exchange. It's got spot trading, futures, margin, and even copy trading. Plus, it supports a ton of coins and trading pairs, all with competitive fees. Security is taken seriously as well, with proof of reserves and a protection fund, so you can trade with peace of mind. And no other Tier 1 exchange protects your security this well. And one of the coolest things, BitGet is moving towards being a universal platform. That means you can trade tokenized US stocks like Apple and Nvidia right on the blockchain, all by using USDC without needing a traditional broker or leaving the exchange for another platform. And if you're into futures, BitGet Stock Futures lets you speculate on price movements with up to 10x leverage using a composite index of stock tokens. It's super beginner friendly and a perfect way to explore the market. Now, getting started is easy. Sign up, do your ID verification, deposit USDT or USDC, and you're ready to trade. And by signing up for BitGet, you have the chance to earn bonuses up to $6,200. So try BitGet today and get your bonuses. Here's how. This is our link for global users. For our UK users, sign up with this link. And if you're on mainland and Europe, use this link to sign up. Then moving on, we have a look on chain who says a whale just rotated from Solana to ETH. A week ago, a whale sold almost 100,000 Solana for $18.5 million at $185 and bridged them to Ethereum. He then bought 4,500 ETH for $18.5 million at $4,084. We also have FundStrat's Tommy Lee says ETH remains in a super cycle, with fundamentals now leading price, citing surging stablecoin demand and ETH transactions hitting all-time high. I love this picture of him. Then we have Japanese startup JYPC launches the world's first yen-peg stablecoin with initial deployment on Ethereum, Avalanche, and Polygon. At the same time, Ethereum whales are still accumulating. Wallets in the 10K to 100K Ethereum club have been steadily increasing their holdings, a strong sign of high net worth players accumulating since April. Fun fact, this group has historically shown the strongest correlation with ETH price movements. When their supply went up in 2017 and 2021, ETH's price followed, and 2025 is no different. And then Whale Insider shares that Fidelity's tokenized money market fund on Ethereum has now passed $230 million in assets under management. Now for ETH's price, we have come up into this level of resistance around $4,200. We are rejecting here, but I imagine over the next couple of days, we'll either come down here, back down towards $4,000, or we'll accumulate somewhere around here and then break through this level again. So either we consolidate underneath resistance here, which we usually do in bull markets, right around $4,100, or we come back down towards around $4,000 and consolidate here. But I do think ultimately this resolves much higher in the next couple of weeks. I do like that we have. I kind of think Ethereum has led, XRP. XRP isn't quite up there yet, but Ethereum is, looking better than others. So we tapped this level of resistance earlier than other altcoins. So ETH is kind of in the the driver's seat right here, which we want to see, especially for altcoins. So this doesn't look terrible to me. It looks like we tested this level of resistance once, and then I think we'll consolidate and then continue higher. So I like Ethereum right now, but I wouldn't do anything just yet. Then moving on, we have Solana and Alpenglow, the most significant consensus upgrade proposal in Solana's history, aiming for 150 millisecond block finality, has now passed governance with a 98.27% voted yes and 1.05% voted no, with 52% of the network state participating. We also have Nick, who says retail investors in the US can now purchase Solana in their Fidelity brokerage account, which is massive. A lot of people are using Fidelity for Roth IRAs and retirement accounts. We also have the world's first Solana ETF starts trading today in Hong Kong. At the same time, the Solana locked in Solana DeFi has now reached a record 62.3 million Solana, the highest level since June 2022, last seen over 1,226 days ago. Now, Solana, more or less the same TA. We want to see it come back and reclaim this level around $209. Once we can reclaim and flip this level, we'll start making these series of higher highs and higher lows, and it'll be confirmed that we can go back into this uptrend Right now, we are still making still lower highs here. So eventually, we want to see this reclaim here on 209. So nothing to do just yet. It's a little bit weaker than Ethereum, so if ETH is kind of leading right now, and Solana's not doing terrible, but we want to see it reclaim this level around $209 first before we really get interested in Solana again. And then moving on, we have Athena Labs, and they said this September we introduced Athena White Label, our stablecoin as a service stack. Since its introduction, we secured major partners, including Mega ETH Labs, Sui Network, and the Jupiter Exchange. We also have Not Telling, who says ENA is going to be a top 10. It's now going to be attributed to their stablecoin as a service offering. Once you understand, it becomes obvious. They're starting an adoption flywheel like never seen before. First, the problem with stablecoins. Today's stablecoin yields mostly benefit external issuers, not the ecosystem that's driving the adoption. Chains don't have the tools to design or profit from the native stablecoins, and many chains want to build a stablecoin but don't have the money, knowledge, or team to do it correctly and efficiently. Athena's solution, the flywheel. Athena offers their stablecoin tech stack to new partners. New partners join Athena's ecosystem, bring new users and liquidity, thus increasing TVL in USDE and USDTB. More TVL drives more liquidity and higher yields, which brings in new partners. And the flywheel continues, bring greater utility and demand to ENA. And then moving on, we have Grayscale's report, which says Grayscale's assets under consideration for financials. We have Athena at the top here in Q4 2025. So Grayscale may be looking to invest in them as well. And then last, we have Altcoin Psych, who says a surprise no one has noticed, but G-Dog, who is the founder of ENA, has been quietly buying $25 million of Athena in the last 48 hours from his personal wallet, all in the open market. So he's been buying, he bought a lot of ENA last week. Now, ENA, pretty much the same TA right now. We're waiting for it to reclaim this level, really around 58-ish cents. We want to see it come back above here. Right now, it's an underside retest. So I imagine we'll do a little bit more consolidation over the next couple of days, especially with FOMC and all the, the big macro events this week. If we start to have good news, I think we reclaim this level and we start going back up towards these highs around 80 cents. But first, we want to see it reclaim this level around 58-ish cents on ENA. So again, like the other altcoins, not too much to do right now. We're pretty much just waiting. And then lastly for today, we have VyFinance launches CST Apex, a staked Apex token on Cardano. So the new token mirrors the up to 10% APY yield offered by staking Apex on Prime. It also lays the foundation for cross-chain interoperability. This launch strengthens Cardano's high assurance UTXO-based ecosystem, and it also positions the network for broader participation in the multi-chain DeFi landscape through Apex Fusion, a protocol designed to bridge Cardano with EVM-compatible networks. And by creating CST Apex entirely on Cardano, VyFinance highlights the network's growing role in the interoperability Web3 economy. While the token currently operates on Cardano, plans are already in motion to extend it to EVM chains, effectively linking Cardano native liquidity in the wider DeFi ecosystem. And Christopher Greenwood, the COO of the Apex Fusion Foundation, emphasized the significance of the collaboration, saying, "Together, we're creating a pathway for Cardano native liquidity to flow across global DeFi from UTXO-based execution to the broader EVM landscape." So that is VyFusion launching the staked Apex token on Cardano. And that is the video for today, guys. I think we're going to have maybe a slight sell-off here at New York Open. I don't always trust a Sunday pumps. Usually they tend to get reversed at New York Open. But I do like the strength that Bitcoin is showing here. I do think we have a big week of macro events going ahead. I think they will turn out positively. And so going into early November, I think we're going to hopefully have a nice pump and altcoins will follow as well. So that is the video for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow.